and that whole program. So we're going to allow him to talk to you guys today and talk about some leadership. So welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Before we get started, okay, everybody up here, cheese go Eagles! I know everybody making crazy face. Go Eagles! Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. It's a privilege to be with you guys and girls from Hudsonville. I'm from Holland. So I'm a Dutch guy from Holland, Michigan, and but we're all West Michigan. So I've been here to talk to you about leadership. And I've had the privilege of being in business for 35 years. Our family business is located in Holland, Michigan on Chicago Drive, and we've been in business for 51 years. So I'm going to talk to you today about one attribute of leadership. And I like to call it hyper-awareness. And hyper-awareness, being hyper-aware, allows you to take action in creating a positive environment. So what is hyper-aware? It's being acutely aware. Acutely means that you're especially aware. You're not just aware, you're not just in the moment, but you're really taking special interest. And special interest others, and other people, in the environment around you. So what we're going to talk about today is how to be hyper-aware. And hyper-aware, we want to notice others, and notice the good in others. Also, notice how others can make a positive difference. How others may be emulating being hyper-aware, and how you might be able to learn from that person or group of individuals, how you might be able to be hyper-aware and help the environment, the people around you. And then finally, notice how some people may be struggling. When we are hyper-aware, some people may be in a good mood, some people may not be in a good mood, or maybe be struggling with one thing or another. So listen to this gentleman. Anybody listen to a TED Talk? Hear a TED Talk? We're going to hear an interesting, funny guy spend just 5 minutes about his experience in being hyper-aware.
How many of you are completely comfortable with calling yourselves a leader? See, I've asked that question all the way across the country, and everywhere I ask it, no matter where, there's always a huge portion of the audience that won't put up their hand. And I've come to realize that we have made leadership into something bigger than us. We made it into something beyond us. We made it about changing the world. And we've taken this title of leader and we treat it as if it's something that one day we're going to deserve. But to give it to ourselves right now means a level of arrogance or cockiness that we're not comfortable with. And I worry sometimes that we spend so much time celebrating amazing things that hardly anybody can do, that we convinced ourselves that those are the only things we're celebrating. And we start to devalue the things that we can do every day. And we start to take moments where we truly are a leader, and we don't let ourselves take credit for it, and we don't let ourselves feel good about it. And I've been lucky enough over the last 10 years to work with some amazing people who have helped me redefine leadership in a way that I think has made me happier. With my short time today, I just want to share with you the one story that is probably most responsible for that redefinition. I went to a school a little school called Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. And on my last day there, a girl came up to me and she said, "I remember the first time that I met you." And then she told me a story that happened 4 years earlier. She said, "On my day before I started university, I was in a hotel room with my mom and my dad. And I was so scared and so convinced that I couldn't do this, that I wasn't ready for university, that I just burst into tears. And my mom and my dad were amazing. They were like, 'Look, we know you're scared, but let's just go tomorrow. Let's go to the first day. And if at any point you feel as if you can't do this, that's fine. Just tell us, we'll take you home. We love you no matter what.'" And she said, so I went the next day and I was standing in line getting ready for registration, and I looked around and I just knew I couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't ready. I knew I had to quit. And she says, I made that decision, and as soon as I made it, there was this incredible feeling of peace that came over me. And I turned to my mom and my dad to tell them that we needed to go home. And just at that moment, you came out of the student union building wearing the stupidest hat I've ever seen in my life. It was awesome. And you had a big sign promoting Shine Around, which is Students Fighting Cystic Fibrosis, a charity I've worked with for years. And you had a bucket full of lollipops. And you were walking along and you were handing the lollipops out to people in line and talking about Shine Around. And all of a sudden, you got to me and you just stopped. and you stared. It was creepy. This girl right here knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then you looked at the guy next to me, and you smiled, and you reached in your bucket, and you pulled out a lollipop, and you held it out to him. And you said, you need to give a lollipop to the beautiful woman standing next to you. And she said, I have never seen anyone get more embarrassed faster in my life. He turned beet red. He wouldn't even look at me. He just kind of held the lollipop out like this. And I felt so bad for this dude that I took the lollipop. And as soon as I did, you got this incredibly severe look on your face, and you looked at my mom and my dad, and you said, look at that. Look at that. First day away from home, and already she's taking candy from a stranger. And she said everybody lost it. 20 feet in every direction, everyone started to howl. And I know this is cheesy, and I don't know why I'm telling you this, but in that moment when everyone was laughing, I knew that I shouldn't quit. I knew that I was where I was supposed to be, and I knew that I was home. And I hadn't spoken to you once in the 4 years since that day, but I heard that you were leaving. And I had to come up and tell you that you've been an incredibly important person in my life, and I'm going to miss you. Good luck. And she walks away, and I flattened. And she gets about 6 feet away, she turns around and smiles and goes, you should probably know this too. I'm still dating that guy 4 years later. A year and a half after I moved to Toronto, I got an invitation to their wedding. Here's the kicker, I don't remember that. I have no recollection of that moment, and I searched my memory banks because that is funny, and I should remember doing it, and I don't remember it. And that was such an eye-opening, transformative moment for me to think that maybe the biggest impact I ever had on anyone's life, a moment that had a woman walk up to a stranger 4 years later and say, you've been an incredibly important person in my life, was a moment that I didn't even remember. How many of you guys have a lollipop moment, a moment where someone said something or did something that you feel fundamentally made your life better? All right. How many of you have told that person they did it? See, why not? We celebrate birthdays where all you have to do is not die for 365 days. And yet we've got people who have made our lives better walk around without knowing it. And every single one of you has been the catalyst for Lollipop Moment. You have made someone's life better by something that you said or that you did. And if you think you haven't, think about all the hands that didn't go back up when I asked that question. You're just one of the people who hasn't been told. But it is so scary to think of ourselves as that powerful. It can be frightening to think that we can matter that much to other people. Because as long as we make leadership something bigger than us, as long as we keep leadership something beyond us, as long as we make it about changing the world, we give ourselves an excuse not to expect it every day from ourselves and from each other. Marianne Williamson said, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us. And my call to action today is that we need to get over that. We need to get over our fear of how extraordinarily powerful we can be in each other's lives. We need to get over it so we can move beyond it. And our little brothers and our little sisters, and one day our kids, or our kids right now, can watch us start to value the impact we can have on each other's lives more than money and power and titles and influence. We need to redefine leadership as being about lollipop moments. How many of them we create, how many of them we acknowledge, how many of them we pay forward, and how many of them we say thank you for. Because we make leadership about changing the world, and there is no world. There's only 6 billion understandings of it. And if you change one person's understanding of it, one person's understanding of what they're capable of, one person's understanding of how much people care about them, one person's understanding of how powerful an agent for change they can be in this world, you change the whole thing. And if we can understand leadership like that, I think if we can redefine leadership like that, I think we can change everything.
So, leadership. Look at how simply he put leadership. Leadership is not just about the White House. It's not just about the world leaders around this planet, is it? Leadership is about every one of us in this room, and everyone in your community, and everyone in your neighborhood. Everyone is a leader, and everybody can exemplify leadership. We make things out to be so difficult and so far-reaching, as he points out, that we miss the point. So, was he acutely aware? Yes or no? Was he really aware of what was going on when he walked out with that basket of lollipops? I think he was. Did it cost him anything? No, unless he paid for the suckers, right? How did it make her feel? She felt special, right? She felt very special. How did it make him feel? It made him feel good, but he really didn't realize it until she said something, right? But she went out of her way to say something. And how did it make her parents feel? She had just told her parents that she wasn't going to go on to stay in college. And now they're all part of being part of the hyper-awareness. So notice the good in others. How do we notice good in others? In school, in business, we say something positive about one another, right? It's that simple. We see something good about something, take a second and say something positive about your friend, a stranger, a new schoolmate that's in school. In business, we welcome new people coming to work, school teachers, and so on. In sports, the same way. How about politics? Anybody watch the political race right now? I know, right? We got some hands raised. Good question. Do they ever say anything positive about one another? No. Not very often. What if the next 45 days came down to where they complimented one another? I don't know. What would it be like? Good question, right? Notice how others can make a positive difference. Notice the environment. Who's making a positive difference? Certainly this man in this video made a positive difference, and there's others. And here's another example of
School is in session, but what these second graders in Houston are learning today may be unlike anything you've ever heard of.
You should never let somebody bring you down for who you are.
It's called unbullying, and already it's a hit with these 7- and 8-year-olds.
I felt wonderful inside and happy.
It really does help you when you're getting bullied. Probably gives you the solution.
Here's how it works. First, their teacher, Michelle Rodriguez, reads them a story.
At my school, I was the foreign girl. I was also short.
It's about a Russian student who's bullied because she's different than the rest of her class.
I was called midget, shorty, and the worst name of all, Russian spy.
It made me feel sad because they're saying mean things to a Russian girl. It made me want to cheer her up. They're saying nice things to her.
The students learn that what's hurtful about bullying is the words that bullies use. So next, they get a chance to unbully.
Let's call our next friend up front.
One by one, they step to the front of the class. First, they find some nice words to describe themselves.
Smart, funny, me.
Then, the rest of the class is asked to come up with some words that best fit them.
Matthew, Joshua. Hardworking. Friendly.
Friendly? Why is she friendly?
Because sometimes she plays low-key or easy, but I have no one to play with.
What do they learn from this exercise? Simply, if you want people to be nice about you, then you better be nice about them. That's what unbullying is all about. And it can be a powerful early learning experience.
It made me feel good about myself. I didn't know what other people thought that about me. I didn't want to say the same things that they said because they made me feel good, and I didn't want them to feel good back, and so they could have the same feeling that I had.
It was very heartwarming. It was really great to see so many of the kids really able to come up with words to describe themselves. At 7 years old, it's not an easy task for a child to do, and I think that the values that we've been teaching them all these years have really already built that in them.
It's not just a powerful journey for kids. Look at what happens when they're asked to describe their teacher.
Helen. Fun. Another one. Esmeralda. She's the best teacher you've ever had?
It made me very emotional. Just knowing the impact that you have as a teacher on the kids is overwhelming. And it really touched me very, very much to hear them say such kind words.
And there's a special visitor this day to the KIPP Explore Academy, the school where all this is happening. Philanthropist Dr. Milton Banyak is the sponsor of this anti-bullying program.
I'm in favor of universal respect for everybody. You don't have to like somebody, you treat them with respect. The best way is to start with the young kids. It spills over to the parents and siblings and the grandparents.
As far as the school principal, Frank Cush, is concerned, these life lessons are every bit as important as math or English or anything else on the curriculum.
I think what's important is that we create a common language with the students so that they know what words are uplifting and positive and what words might not be.
At this age, most kids are learning the meaning of words, but here, they're learning the power of words and just how far a kind word or act can go.
You can see the smiles on the kids' faces. That propels us into something that is really special for our kids.
Words that connect us and help us grow together in a way that promotes kindness and respect for everyone.
Notice the sign was hanging up outside. No one is perfect. Can anybody repeat, finish the line? That's why pencils have erasers. I thought that was, I had to put pause on that. I thought, what a cool sign. No one is perfect. That's why pencils have erasers. Right? None of us are perfect. But look at what a simple exercise that they did within their community at the school. It can be done with a community wherever we are. Now, you're 8th graders, right? And what other grades are in your school? 6 and 7. So who are the leaders, age-wise, in your school? You, right? You have an opportunity to be a leader in your school, right, as an 8th grader. And one way to do it is to be hyper-aware of how someone is thinking, acting, and feeling. And people are not perfect. We just mentioned that. That's why pencils have erasers. Leadership requires the simple act of noticing when good things are happening to people, but also when not so good things are happening to people. Hyper-awareness allows us to see when someone is struggling. We have a choice to either act or not act, to help one another. So, what choice will you make?
On Monday mornings, no one's looking forward to work. They're just trying to navigate through traffic. You know, they don't really care who's in their way. They don't really think about the feelings of other people. And I'm from Washington, D.C. My mom is from the Philippines and my dad's Iranian. I was raised in Fairfax, Virginia. I've been here less than a year, but it feels like home to me. I got the idea of told signs when I was walking with my friends on the beach. That was kind of what started it all right here. When people sometimes back on a SUV windshield. I started making different signs such as, don't be so hard on yourself, today is awesome, smile. We drove the signs and I invited some friends out. And when I first told my friends about sign holding, it's like, why would you even think about that? Of course, it's just crazy just holding up this big poster sign in front of tons of strangers just like driving in on a Monday morning. I was holding the honk if you love someone sign, and there's this giant truck that just came down, and coming from 50 feet away, they were slamming on the horn. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'm getting fired up or whatever. So I see this guy, and then he just kind of rolls up and slows down, and then he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And then I just go up to him, he's just pumped up, and we give each other a high five, and we just drive off. It was supposed to be just a one-off. We just was hold signs for one day, and I think after the first 5 minutes, we kind of realized, whoa, we can make a bigger impact than we thought. So this reporter emailed me. An article came out in the Washington Post. And Middle Eastern news agency reached out to me. I started getting personal business messages in languages I didn't really understand. From Tunisia, Algeria, Turkey, Egypt. Just kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, people from Middle East and this has been international. We got other emails. I dropped off my brother at school and saw your Be Happy sign. Just want to let you know it made my day. I smile every time I see another one of your signs. Keep it up. I'm an 11-year-old boy from Arlington, and they're making me almost excited to go back to school.
Pretty creative, isn't it?
Yesterday we told you about the Be Nice and...
Pretty creative. Didn't take a lot of money. Didn't take a lot of, took a lot of thought. And the person was hyper-aware. The person decided he wanted to make a difference by simply sending out a positive message. And did everybody react positively to it? No. But did most people react positively to it? Yes. It's just a very simple sign of how somebody can make a difference in someone's life, especially when they're struggling.
Yesterday we told you about the Be Nice initiative and the work of the Mental Health Foundation in the schools.
Tonight, Eva Eketa-Cooper has the rest of the story and how a local businessman connected with Be Nice.
Jeff Elhart made the commitment to sponsor the Be Nice initiative with Wood TVA and the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan after his own personal tragedy.
Well, I got involved with Be Nice because the death of my brother. Always a happy person, very positive in nature, but you just don't know what happens within one's mind when they're dealing with this illness of depression, this internal illness.
Wayne Elhart of Elhart Automotive in Holland died by suicide this past March. The family was devastated and knew that he was struggling with depression, but didn't know how to help.
I realized that I was missing a tool during the time in which my brother was dealing with depression.
When we talk about Be Nice, it's an acronym. Jeff was attached to the NICE, that would be Notice, Invite, Challenge, Empower. And that, to Jeff, can save lives. And we're talking not only for middle, high school, adolescents, we are talking about adults.
When we think of depression, we need to think of Be Nice and not sweep it under the rug anymore. It really is a stigma. We need to stand up and learn about it. Just like CPR, so ultimately we can save lives.
And when we recognize these things, that they're going on for 2 weeks or longer, then it could be a mild form of a mental health disorder. We need to take it seriously.
It really is up to the loved ones, being the family members, or the people that's are closest to them, to see those signs of depression. Alan in the West Michigan area lost a good leader in my brother, and we lost a good friend, a good family member, we lost a great brother.
Throughout the coming months, we'll be sharing tools from the Be Nice initiative and opportunities for you to learn how to engage in your own mental health.
So, I had a situation that happened in my family. My brother died after struggling with depression and suicide. You may have had somebody, you may know someone that has lost their life to mental illness. Mental illness is really no different than a physical illness. My brother could have died from cancer, could have died from a heart attack, could have died from a car accident. But he happened to die from a mental illness. And so, being hyper-aware, I realized that we need to do something about this. Like the gentleman did with the signs, we need to do something to bring awareness to mental illness and suicide prevention. We need to be hyper-aware so that we can help one another. The tool that I was missing in my brother's life is it didn't seem like it was rocket science. So, first of all, Be Nice. NICE is an acronym, and N stands for notice. Notice changes in behavior. I stands for invite yourself. Have a loving and caring conversation with that someone that's struggling. C is to challenge yourself, to ask why the person is exhibiting changes in their behavior. And E is to empower yourself to finally help the others on how they think, act, and feel. So when you think of fire, let me ask you a question. What do you think of? Or when you think of, I'm sorry, I blew it. When you think of stop, drop, and roll, what do you think of? Fire. Okay? Stop, drop, and roll. When you think of depression, what do you think of? Basically, you can hear a pin drop. That's what Be Nice is all about. And here's one school in Walkerville, 269 kids. The number of kids are right here. They're engaged in Be Nice, in one of their projects about bringing this Be Nice into their school.
Say something, I'm giving up. I'll be the one if you want me to. Anywhere I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I'm feeling so small. It was over my head. I'm nothing at all. And I will stumble and fall. I'm still learning to love, just starting to crawl. Say something, I'm giving up on you. You're sorry that I couldn't get to you. Anywhere I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you. And
So if you see something, speak up and say, so be hyper aware to take action and create a positive environment. It's the things you do that you don't have to do that'll always make a difference when it's too late to do anything about it. So with that, share a lollipop and be nice. On your way out, we have lollipops and we have Be Nice bracelets for everybody. And I encourage you to engage with others by sharing the word, notice, and like, telling your heart. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
I need to go over just a couple logistics here.